defense?
You know what? It's been really fun. We're young, we're a little inexperienced, but there's a lot of good things that come with that. I mean, these guys are flying around, playing with energy. They're so eager, Guys are studying, preparing, and then getting on the field and flying around and having fun. We may not do everything perfect right now, but it's still the beginning. More importantly, they're out there having a good time. They're learning, so it's been fun.
Obviously, losing Joe Martirano, with a bit of a wrench thrown into it.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts on that, and also how does that kind of change what you guys have it and do at linebacker?
Right. So, just the baseball thing with Joe, I mean, we've been going back and forth all along, since Joe's been here. And it came down to the point where, he had to make a decision, and we were willing to work and have him do both. We've gone 5 years of doing it, and when we get done with spring ball, 6 more months, so he could have an avenue to go either way, but obviously it didn't work on the baseball end. And for Joey, it's an awesome opportunity. It's like one of our guys that, leaves early as a junior to go to the NFL. When it's time to go pursue something that's the best decision for you, then you got to do that, And so obviously for us, it creates opportunity for more of the younger guys. Tyson's been doing a hell of a job out there. He finished the end of last season as one of our best inside linebackers, and he's rolling, right along with that this spring. And so we get a lot of new guys reps and stuff, and those guys are out there learning and doing it. And we'll root for Joe and cheer him on. We'll root for Joe, but I'm an Angels fan, so I don't know if I can root for the Cubs. I told him that. He just started laughing. But we're excited. We're excited to follow him and see how he does as well.
You just shift guys around into the middle, because right now I think it's Tyson, Provenzano, and Solo Taylor in the middle. I mean, do you have any other guys that are working in there now, or just those three?
Yeah, no, we got some guys that we've added, at the semester and stuff. Benton Wickersham is a walk-on linebacker who actually was a scholarship type of guy coming out of high school but had an injury, and so we got him here with us, and he's doing a tremendous job. We're excited about what he's doing there. We got guys that played on the outside that can play, and Blake Whitlock can play any of the linebacker positions, and so we're moving guys around. That's the fun part about the springtime, right? You get to experiment and try guys and see how a guy does in the box, how a guy does out of the box, and you don't have to line up and play on the weekends, so you could do those things and not have to line up on ESPN. So it's been fun to let these guys have their different opportunities and do some things, and obviously we got some really good recruits coming in here this summer.
What would you like to see change from last year's defense to this year's defense heading in?
You know what, I feel like if we could be more aggressive in all phases, being more aggressive on the outside in the way we play man-to-man coverage, be able to get up in there, and do some things at the line of scrimmage, bring some pressure from different places, and just constantly, put strain on the offense. Last year we felt like we had to play more coverage and do those things, where this year we want to be a little bit more on the attack, and that's the fun style to play too. The guys are enjoying it, and that kind of gets the mentality and gets their rhythm and stuff going in practice.
David Moa said that one of the focus has been on turnovers, as it was last season. How do you teach or coach getting turnovers?
You know what, a lot of that just comes down to the guys that have the most opportunities are the safeties, right? I mean, when you look at football and you study it, the safeties have the most opportunities because the ball's up in the air, and they're typically the guys that are playing with zone eyes, so to speak. And so when those guys are very productive and we got good ball hawks, our young safeties are ball hawks now. I mean, they're out there. We got guys going up high point, guys breaking on the ball, catching the ball, running full speed, pick six the other way. I mean, we haven't seen a lot of that. So what does that do? That not only creates momentum for you in that situation of practice in the game, but that creates momentum for you as a defense, and that's you catch fire getting those. Obviously, another area where turnovers come up huge when you're studying it is on the quarterback. At practice, we don't touch our quarterbacks. We ain't touching those guys. We love those guys, right? We might bark at them when we run past them or whatever, but we're not touching those guys. So the habits we create on air as we work through plays to make sure that when we get in games, those are reactions. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So some of those things in studying the film and studying, not only us, but studying college football and where are these turnovers where are the most opportunities at, and then putting our guys in those situations.
So when you look at, think back over the last 4 months in the off season, was there something last season that just didn't click on the turnover deal? Or?
Yeah, I mean, you watched the games, right?
Mm-hmm.
We had a lot of missed opportunities. That's football. We got to catch that thing.
with the you talked about being a little more aggressive, and last year I wouldn't say bend don't break necessarily, but
there were times, yeah.
Was that a depth thing, or what why do you think maybe that was the case last year?
Well, I mean, last year's last year, and I'm going to move on to this year, okay? But more importantly, what we want to do now is we feel like we got the guys that could cover and handle those one-on-ones on the perimeter and be able to do those things. And once again, be able to bring different rushers from different areas and stuff like that.
Do you approach the spring any differently, though, than maybe you have in the past?
In terms of,
there's
a lot of...
Yeah, I mean, whether it be because of the turnovers or just personnel. I mean, overall.
No, we're doing the same thing we've done with turnovers. We're just catching the ball.
You're talking about bringing pressures from different spots and stuff like that. I would imagine that went over well with the team. What has been the reaction for the guys, and how have you noticed a difference being able to work in some of those things a little bit more, perhaps?
Yeah, they love it. They're having fun out there. They really do. You're getting to do different things. You're in coverage, you're rushing, you're playing the run, you're reading, reacting, just to be able to do different things, So they're out there flying around, hooting, hollering. It's fun. Springtime's fun now, I'll tell you what.
With the defensive line, Steve talked about, he wanted to lean on some of those young guys last year, but maybe didn't use them as much as he wanted to because games were close or whatever. How do you guys try to, how do you kind of assess that, last year where some of those guys got in, but maybe they didn't play a ton, and,
right.
And that's probably a double-edged sword for you guys.
No, it is, but I think here's the thing. Those guys, and even the guys that were on the ready as we call it, we maybe didn't play them, but they were traveling and they were in all the install meetings, and so those guys know the playbook way better than if they're on scout team and they're studying the opponent's defense and giving our offense those looks. That's a huge advantage for those guys, even if they didn't get a ton of reps. Now, obviously in the springtime, that's where it's really beneficial. Now everybody's getting reps, and they know the plays, they know their techniques better because, like I said, maybe they didn't play last year, but they're on the ready, so they knew their stuff.
With you mentioned the safeties, and you kind of mentioned those guys kind of being ball hawks and stuff like that. And when we talked to Gabe on signing day, he kind of said a similar thing. What has stood out to you about that group? And it does seem like it's a pretty deep group, and you still have guys like Evan Tyler who are going to be coming back and stuff. You'll have even more guys in the mix.
Right. And that's something. There's some things you don't want to have to coach. As an inside linebacker coach, it is very difficult to coach instincts. How do you do that? As an inside linebacker coach, if you could go find an inside linebacker that has adequate size and movements and has great instincts, can read and react to what's happening in front of them, things just go a lot smoother. As a safeties coach, if you could find a guy that has adequate size and movements and all that stuff, and it has natural feel for the ball to be able to track it, go up, get it, bring that thing home, that's a huge plus. So that's kind of, where we're going in recruiting.
And the last one, obviously it seems like Tyler's a guy who's pretty settled at corner, and who else is kind of working in that group and who's kind of caught your eye? Obviously with Jonathan gone, there's an opportunity there for another starter to step in.
So we got a few guys that we've added at the semester. Mike Young is a guy that's jumped in there and done a really good job through the first 3 practices and stuff. Reed's doing a really good job. Obviously, Reed is one of those guys that maybe, he got some plays last year, but he wasn't in the normal rotation. But what he got last year put him in a huge advantage for this spring because he knows it so much better. He's been in games. He knows game speed. And then we have a whole host. We feel good about our depth there at the corner position and guys that could run, and guys that could go attack the ball. Anything else, guys?
That's it.